Hello, everyone, and welcome. Take two to Weird Wednesdays, where we talk to lots of interesting entrepreneurs, health practitioners, business owners about their product or their practice. And today I'm going to be joined by Michele from Remnant Beauty. She has her own company that sells lots of different types of moisturizers, and we're going to find out about why it's good for the skin, why it's the best one on the market, how the brand started, what skin conditions can it deal with, and why we should really be considering not only what we put in our guts, but also what we put on our skin. So please feel free to drop any comments, questions about skincare, gut care, health. Put them in the comments. I'll pick them up and get them answered throughout this interview. So Michele is ready and waiting. Here we go. 2 seconds. Hello, everyone. Did that work? There we are. Hurrah!
Yay!
It's always fun having a little technical glitch.
Yes. Yeah.
Keeps us all on our toes. So, welcome to my series, Weird Wednesdays. It's really exciting to have you on. I found your product through a friend of mine who started using it. And guys, I'm just going to show you. These are the little pots, and they're just really cute as well as anything. But they are in dark glass, which is a really good protective element for oil. You know, when we have our olive oil and our coconut oil, we really want to keep them out of direct sunlight, don't we? So these are the little pots that they come in. I've got the bee balm as well. We can talk about all these. I use this on my puppy dog skin quite a lot. He just licks it off. And this is a beautiful one. I use this at night, Michele. I don't know if that's right, but it's this gorgeous rose, really thick balm. Yeah. And I've had these they're finished. I need to order new ones, but they last forever.
They do. They do. They're really, really concentrated, so it goes a long, long way.
So let's just start at the beginning. How did Remnant Beauty get born?
So it was probably about 4.5 years ago or so. I really had severe adrenal fatigue, to the point where my skin was flaking. It was like, honestly, it felt like a cat's tongue. It was unbelievably dry, and there was nothing I could do. I kept ordering medical grade skincare, and nothing was touching it. So I started researching, and I came across tallow. I kept hearing this over and over again, about tallow as a cure for eczema and just how great it was for the skin. And I couldn't find anyone selling it in the UK. So I looked into how to make my own pot. And I just couldn't believe it. When I put it on the next morning, I woke up and I just couldn't believe the difference. It was incredible. And I used to make my own skincare anyway, so I just decided then and there I need to share this, and put it up on. I started putting it up on Etsy, and people started finding me. So yeah, it
Wow.
came about completely by accident.
So this is the first one that you did was the tallow
Yeah.
cream,
Yes.
and tallow is from grass-fed cows.
Yes. Yeah.
Just in case anyone's unsure of where tallow is actually originating from. And in this product, I'll just read the ingredients. And I like it because I always say to my clients about chocolate, your chocolate should have 3 ingredients in it, much like your moisturizers. And if you can't read the names of the ingredients, you got to question how your body is going to break it down, or your liver. So this has got grass-fed tallow, olive oil, therapeutic grade essential oils. Finish. 3
That's it.
ingredients.
Yes. Yeah. Unless you choose the unscented, which, a lot of people do, funny enough. But yeah, it's super simple and yet so, so effective.
And so do you find that people come to you and they might disclose that they have a skin condition and whether it's a good product to use for that? And second part to that question, what are the most common skin complaints people are coming to you with to find help?
So I get a lot of queries about eczema, baby eczema,
Mm,
post topical steroid withdrawal, because
right.
a lot of people who've had eczema have been using steroids, and then eventually they get the thinning of the skin, and the skin gets more and more sensitized. So a lot of those questions, and baby eczema, that's another huge one, and it's so gentle that it can be used on babies. And I've never had any issues of it, heard of any issues of it reacting badly. And it just really penetrates the skin. And there are so many fat soluble factors in it, so many nutrients that really, really nourish the skin. And then on top of it, as you say, you've got none of the chemical components with your regular products. So normally if you add water into a product, you need to use emulsifiers, you need to use preservatives, and tallow doesn't need that, and neither do any other products with animal fats, because they sustain themselves. They have a naturally long shelf life, so they're incredibly good for the skin. Also barrier repair, that's another one that I get a lot. So it's really efficient at
It
all of those, and aging, just the normal
yeah.
aging as well. So
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think I've ever been someone who's used who, I always had friends growing up who would have loads of potions and lotions, as I call them, and they had a routine. And I never had a skincare routine. I don't know if I wanted to have one, but I was just sort of soap water and moisturizer kind of girl. I mean, I'm sure we all had little phases. Um, and I think that, we wonder whether is it the lack of the chemicals that help anti-aging, or is it the quality of, is it just literally not having chemicals on our skin that keeps us youthful and young, or is it actually the product that the tallow, the lard, it's a
yeah,
all our other moisturizers are just, they've got 20 different chemicals in them
yeah,
that are supposed to create good, tight skin?
yeah.
Is it just the absence of them?
I think it's both really. I think there are so many awful ingredients. I mean, wipes are my absolute. That is just, if you've got that in your routine, just get rid of wipes altogether. Makeup removing wipes, those are the worst. So I think it is that. I think they can really aggravate your skin. And then on top of it, kind of mass-produced skincare products just don't have those types of vitamins, because animal fats, vitamins come with cofactors. So even if you're buying mass-produced products with isolated vitamins like vitamin A or vitamin C, it's not natural, because in nature they come with all their cofactors. So when you're putting animal fats on your face, those other cofactors, the vitamin A, D, E, and K, they're naturally present in animal fats, and they're not synthetic. So it is both really.
Yeah, I find that in nutrition that one of the issues I'm seeing, certainly in women's health, is the lack of the fat soluble
Hmm.
vitamins that are precursors to some of our really big hormones. Vitamin A is a real deficiency at the
Yes.
moment,
Yeah.
especially because of the influx of plant-based and veganism. We're forgetting, I mean, we're all taking our B12, aren't we? We're like, oh, it's the only thing that we can't get in a plant-based diet, but we're forgetting vitamin A,
Yeah.
and it's a really big precursor, essential for eyes, skin, turnover, and we can only really get it through an animal
Yeah.
source, can't we?
Yeah. Yeah. And again, when you buy the pharmaceutical vitamin A, the retinols, you need to be really careful about sun damage and barrier irritation and that kind of thing. So, whereas tallow does contain vitamin A, and again, it's natural. You can go out in the sun. It does have natural sun protective factors. I mean, I wouldn't advise going out in the midday sun for 2 hours on a blasting
Sure.
hot day. But it does have some natural skin protecting factors in it.
And so then let's talk about, so we've got the tallow and then we've got the lard cream
Hmm.
as well. I'll just give you guys an idea because there is a little tiny bit left in here. So I mean, looks a bit like coconut oil in a way, because people are probably familiar with that. But what I do is I take probably even half of that, and then I put it in the middle of my hand, and then it just immediately, with the warmth, and I just sort of massage. And because of its
Hmm.
really nice thickness to it, you sort of feel like you're giving yourself a bit of a facial at the same
Yes,
time almost.
yes. Yeah, and they do, they're unlike your conventional products in that they are softer in the summer and harder in the winter. That's just the nature of a fully natural
Yeah.
product. And the lard cream, I also added shea butter in there and duck fat as well. So you're getting, kind of a range of nutrients in there.
Yeah, I love this. We've got pasteurized lard, cage-free duck
Mhm.
fat, guys, beeswax, shea butter, lavender, and it just, you can smell it. I
Yes.
mean, it is really gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then the bee balm. So this feels really rich, almost. Sorry, Natasha's just said, how does it smell? Natasha, smells like you're having a lavender essential oil
Hmm.
experience. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the bee balm. So I have to confess that my dog Rocky did end up getting most of this because he started life with a bit of a scratchy ear problem. And so I used to put it on his ears. And actually, he would just then lick my hands. So I then started putting it on his paws because he just loved it so much. But it's actually sort of, the benefits of bee balm are wonderful.
Hmm.
And so he was getting these sort of multivitamins for a very, inexpensive way to do it. But tell us about the bee balm.
Well, that one was actually inspired by Cleopatra because she used to use olive oil and honey. And so I wanted to do something that, it's got propolis and royal jelly, honey. I wanted to do just a ton of bee products because they're also so high in vitamin content. Um, so yeah, I really love that one. That one was a labor of love. And I've started doing them now in unscented and scented because a lot of people are requesting them unscented. Um, Tallow does smell, just to answer that question as well. Tallow does smell when it's unscented. It's got a kind of a roast potato sort of
Mm.
smell, but it disappears in about 2 minutes or so. But the ones with essential oils don't. They smell really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've got all the ones with essential oils. I think maybe when
yeah.
I bought them, I couldn't get that or I didn't see it, but they're really pleasant. And actually, Natasha, who asked that question, so my all-time favorite smell in the whole world, all my perfumes are rose. I just love rose. And there's this one, which, I mean, if you do nothing else today, everyone, go and buy this because it's super balm. It says for scars and stretch marks, but when I feel like I'm really dry or I've been outside or I've had a hot bath or maybe I just haven't used moisturizer for a while, I just lather this stuff on.
Mm.
And actually I always forget because I sit there in bed and I put a whole load on and then I've got all this cream. It can, that amount will do almost your whole body, won't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it
yeah,
just expands so
it
beautifully.
does. Yes. Yeah, that one is suddenly like I have a wholesale client from China and it's really taken off there. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a great body product.
I love that one as well. Um, and so there must be loads of other, I mean, loads of other. Most people, guys, give me a thumbs up if you've ever used or heard of tallow products or lard products or using animal fats as a skincare routine. Just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you have heard of them or if you haven't, because there must be other products on the market. There must be, we know about shea butter, we've heard of butter about it. We know about coconut oil, but I'm definitely lard and tallow a bit less known.
Yes.
What makes this tallow stand out from all the others?
So some people are now doing tallow. That one is so my tallow, I actually buy the fat myself from farms and I render it myself.
Oh
I,
wow.
I melt, I melt it myself at really low temperatures, so it really holds all of the nutritional content. Um, some of the other suppliers, I think, are buying deodorized tallow, so it doesn't smell, but you have to put it through a lot of processes, and it does denature the product. So that was something. I'm really a purist at heart, and I wanted to maintain. So with the hand salve, for example, I infuse all of my oils with calendula. There's a gold frankincense and myrrh. That's real gold frankincense and myrrh that's been infused into the oil. So I do everything by hand using old-fashioned processes because I just want to preserve all of that nutritional content. Um,
It reminds me of, collagen. There's so much collagen out there at the moment and so much hype around it, but also with that comes people try and find the cheapest ways, the quickest ways
yes,
to process something. And when collagen isn't hydrolyzed, the same thing sorts of happen.
yes,
You don't get the benefits because of the way it's been
yes.
processed.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing was when I started this business, I immediately had a vision of wanting it to be very luxurious and very pleasant to use. So that's the other thing is I've created quite a lot of different products. It's not just tallow balm, and hopefully it is a luxurious experience.
And so what you do also have on there is a zinc sunscreen. Tell us about why zinc is good for, I mean,
Mhm.
I always say to people, the quality of your skin is based on the quality and the uptake of nutrition that you have.
Yeah.
So you get less burnt.
Yes.
People don't believe me. You get less burnt when you have really good nutrition because you have stronger, thicker skin,
Yes.
more lipocene levels, um, and so tell us about zinc and your
Yeah.
sunscreen.
So zinc is actually a physical sunscreen, whereas chemical ones, they tend to break down in the sun and then they're toxic. And there are a lot of highly dubious ingredients in chemical sunscreen, and they damage sea life as well. But zinc, even though it says factor 30 and people kind of want factor 50 or whatever, factor 30 doesn't break down and it stays, it's a barrier around your skin all day that kind of reflects the AV, the UVB and UVA rays. And again, it's completely harmless because like magnesium, one of the best ways to absorb it is through the skin. So things do cross the blood-brain barrier, and a lot of products affect your hormonal and your endocrine system. So it is really important to have those completely natural products.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mm.
do you have people requesting to use it for their pets? Because pet nutrition and pet health is just so huge at the moment that, everyone is turning over raw pet food because of the benefits
Mhm.
of it. And we're really getting back into our get back to basics nutrition, less is more.
Yes.
Do you find requests and people asking questions like that?
I have had a couple of people saying they put it on their cat's ears in the summertime. They put the sunscreen on their cat's ears and also on rashes. I had one recently telling me she put it on a rash on her dog's stomach. I've done that before. Um, so I haven't specifically created any products for animals, but most of the products, if you wanted to, you could eat them. They are completely, I don't know why you would want to do that, but um, yeah, they're completely natural. So yeah,
Well,
for pets as well.
I can definitely concur that this pot was definitely uptaken by my Ridgeback, and he was definitely happier for it.
Oh,
And so are you going to branch out into makeups and anything like that? Because that's where the chemicals really start life, isn't it?
yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, you can't not. I don't know if you've heard of Antipodes, New Zealand brand, and they're as natural as I found
Mhm.
as a makeup goes. Is that something that you would end up doing, or is that
Um,
possible?
I'm not sure. I've started doing a couple of things. I've done some lip balms and lip glosses and lip and cheek tints. I use roots in there. Like there's madder and alkanet. Those are colorants from roots. And they're lovely actually. And because they're so natural, they just go with any skin tone.
Yeah,
I don't know about like things like mascara. It's difficult to make that completely
yeah.
natural. But I am definitely going to look into doing a natural perfume. That's kind of my next move.
Because there's the frankincense oil, the sort of I use it just on my on my
Mm,
pressure points
yeah.
sometimes, and that's got frankincense and rose in it and other ingredients. Is that right?
Yes, frankincense, and I've now added myrrh, frankincense, myrrh, and rose, and it's really beautiful.
And so, did you start life? Did you ever do any herbalism, or this is just started off as a passion and it grew and it grew and it grew, and your knowledge of plants and herbs must be vast, must be wonderful. But is that how it all began?
Yeah, well, I made a lot of natural products for myself over the years. And then it was when I got ill that I really got into it. And I did actually do a diploma in natural skincare, but I found it completely useless
Yeah,
because, again, it was all about the preservatives and about emulsifiers, and there are chemicals. They're not, they sound natural, but they're not natural. And I always wanted to create completely
completely
natural.
natural.
Yeah.
It it's it's interesting because we're sort of similar. You know, obviously I advise on food, but this is sort of the same as the problem with supplements and natural supplements or organic supplements and synthetic. And lots of products are made to look like they're natural, or they
Mhm.
might have one ingredient that is natural, but they start life born as a synthetic
Yeah.
supplement. And so whether we, you know, there's all these seven channels of excretion or absorption, and our skin is the biggest organ in our body.
Mhm.
And it's always blows my mind how people forget that. Sorry, they'll wax lyrical about eating organic or refusing to have
Mhm.
something that isn't from a certain place. But then their skincare cupboard, you know, you need a small flat to house it, is full of L'Oreal and
Mhm.
Estee
Yeah.
Lauder and all this stuff. And there isn't anything that matches their philosophy
Mhm.
with the way that people eat. And then what they do. Why is there this disconnect when it comes to the face and
Mhm.
anti-aging, and yet people won't eat processed food because of
Yeah.
anti-aging, but they'll put 20 chemicals on their skin every day?
Yeah.
Is that psychological? Do you?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because it's so hard to find completely natural products, because that's how what I used to think. I used to always go through, try and find brands that were greener, and then you give up in the end and you take kind of brands that are a bit more organic sounding, but most of them are just greenwashed, and that's not the
Mm,
case. And you kind of give up because
yeah,
it's a really rare thing to find, and you're definitely not going to find it in, Boots or, those kind of commercial enterprises. So
sure.
that's a big part of it. And some of it is just not thinking, not realizing just how the skin does absorb chemicals. I think people
Mm.
don't really understand that.
And so the burning question, I suppose, for a lot of people would be, are people reporting that that their skin looks younger, feels fatter? Because we
Yeah,
want fatty, we want plump
yeah,
faces, don't
glowing.
we, really?
Yes.
Are people experiencing reduction in the thinness of their lines, whether it's fine lines or sagging or just vitality through the skin?
Yes, definitely. That I find that so rewarding about what I do, is because I get that feedback all the time. Is that it just turns people's skins around, and it definitely works. There's no doubt about that. So yeah, that makes it really rewarding.
Well, I, for one, am very, very happy I found you. Thank you so much for joining us
Oh, you're
today.
welcome.
I'll post this on my Instagram and can send you a link as well. If anyone's got any questions, obviously you can direct them straight at the expert, which is Remnant Beauty. And this post will be tagged on your Instagram handle. Um, or you can certainly DM me and I can help you out and send you on to Michele as well. But do go onto the website. I think you immediately get a percentage off,
Mhm.
and there are lots of different bundles and product offers there. My biggest recommendation would be the tallow cream. I love that day and night. And it's got a bit of a lavender, so I am a sucker for a bit of an essential oil. So go and give it all a try. And Michele, thank you so much. I hope to have you on again. I'll be putting in an order.
Thank you.
One for me and one for the dog.
Thank you. And yeah, I have a discount code at the moment, which is 20 off. So all one word,
Yeah.
and the offers in caps. So
Oh, amazing. So let me write that down and I'll post it in the thing. It's just 20 OFF. Ah, guys, go and buy the entire. In fact, I was in Ireland when I bought it, and I think that I just bought the biggest amount I could, because it's such a great offer, 20% off. So go and knock your socks off, and it'll last you for longer than any other product you'll ever buy, and you'll have plump, beautiful, line-free skin forever.
oh, well, thanks so much for having me on.
Pleasure. It's thank you for doing what you do. It's absolutely essential, and we need to be turning people, because with the way the world is recycling, this is a wonderful pot for something else. Don't throw these pots out. I throw all my pots out, but these can't bear to throw this beautiful pot out. It'll just turn into an earring holder or whatever it is. But really fantastic product, and thanks for bringing it out into the world. I hope this helps expand people putting decent products on their skin.
Oh, thank you.
Pleasure. All right, guys, lovely to see you all again. Join me next week for Weird Wednesdays, where we speak to another equally exciting guru. Bye.
Bye.